Hello, I'm Henry Cavill, and I'm going to break down a scene from the show The Witcher, shot by shot.
Where's Renfri?
She's at the tower with your little friend.
Right here, Geralt has entered Blaviken looking for someone called Renfri, or Shrike, as you may know her from the books, if you're a fan of the books. Her gang has been laying in wait for me. This shot was designed by Wolfgang Stegemann, a stunt coordinator and a fight coordinator. What makes a Witcher and Geralt very, very special is the ability to deflect an arrow in mid-flight, or in this case, a crossbow bolt. We wanted to make it unique in a way, and Wolfgang's idea of the camera circle round the crossbowman allows the audience to feel that moment like the bolt was truly going to hit him. I'm blocking this stunt performer's sword blow with nothing. Essentially, we often use cut-off swords for particularly complex or technical pieces, or pieces which may be very, very dangerous. This sword is actually half length. With the half length, it allows for a lot more moves to be done, which involve blood and gore. The difficulty is we all have to perform like the sword is full length rather than half length. When you're moving at full speed and your adrenaline's up and you're doing take after take after take, sometimes that can be tricky. So the cameraman cannot see where he is going, apart from through memory, and with someone, a guiding hand behind him, so he doesn't run into a wall and injure himself. And also he has to stay out of the way of all of us. If you can see in this particular freeze frame, if that stuntman doesn't move in the perfect way, the operator gets a wooden pole in the eye. It's all done in one take. There was another option which we had, which was a different cut where we shot different angles at different times, and that's slightly easier to shoot. You can do 3 or 4 movements in a segment and then you stop. The problem with a one-shot scene is that if any bit slows down or anything doesn't work perfectly, it ruins the whole scene. And so you have to keep on going back and doing it again and again and again until you get it right. There's no time for mistakes. There's no space for mistakes. Even here, this is still a cut-off sword. Because we did this all in one shot, the sword had to be cut off throughout. It's not just as simple as shooting someone moving around. There's so many different moving parts. Even if I did my performance perfect every time and I remembered every single move and every single move looked real, the camera may have been in a slightly different position, or one of the stuntmen may have moved slightly off his mark or to the left, to the right, and so a strike looks like it misses or it doesn't work. Now that Geralt has walked through all these men, Renfri comes back into town with Geralt's young friend Marilka, and that was essentially her family, and so she decides to go to town and try and take Geralt out.
If we cross swords,
I won't be able to stop.
Emma Appleton, who plays Renfri, trained relentlessly. She trained for the full, I believe it was 3 or 4 weeks. She was in there every day for hours on end, training with her team. There was only so much one can do to actually build up to a fight which was this technical. And so I had the great fortune of working with probably the best stunt performer I've ever actually performed with, and that was Lucy Cork. Her viper-like actions were exactly what Shrike or Renfri is described like in the books. Our strikes were exact, or at least looked exact. We were moving less than an inch away from each other's heads. She had to move just enough, and I had to make sure that I was close enough. So if I was making a downward strike, I have to redirect my sword so it does end up being less than an inch away from her head when it misses. It's a true dance and requires a lot of patience and a lot of skill.
They created me just as they created you. We're not so different.
Wolfgang and I really wanted to make sure that the story was told through the fight. It's not just a random fight of people swinging swords at each other. These are two people in a dance, and through that dance, a story is told. Renfri was very much the aggressor, and Geralt is on the defensive, right up until... Within 4 moves, she is completely defeated, and then Geralt stands back and gives her the space. He allows her one last chance. Walk away from Blaviken, forget, and you won't be a monster. And instead... As much as he hates the idea of it, he's not going to lose his own life in the process of someone who's determined to die. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it wasn't too detailed. I tend to get a little excited about these things, but you can see it for real with the rest of the story on The Witcher on Netflix.